Dr. Ozaki? Was he calling regarding Mikiyasu?
I'll explain it all shortly. Can you please gather everyone in the lounge after all of the morning consultations? I'd like to hold a staff meeting.
Yes, sir.
Now, this might get a little confusing for the administrative staff, but just ask if you need me to clarify. Blood, bone marrow, an increase in reticulocyte, nucleated erythrocyte also confirmed. Could it be that hematopoiesis is accelerating because bone marrow, hyperplasia of erythroblast, no abnormality in its formation, bone marrow, blood. There's still no external or internal bleeding, though. Both the serum bilirubin and LDH are normal. Bone marrow, blood, bone marrow, blood, bone marrow, bone marrow, bone marrow, blood. Large amounts of red blood cells are being consumed in seconds. I know how ridiculous all of this sounds, but by simply accepting such an absurd possibility, the cause becomes as clear as bone marrow, blood. It's one thing to die from hemorrhagic shock, but what disease causes people to quit their jobs or move? I'm sure you guys are a little nervous, but I think we can avoid its liver, lungs, and kidneys.
So it could possibly be caused by bleeding or hemolysis. Well, that makes perfect sense as to why you wanted now to be examined with the CAT scan. But there was no trace of internal bleeding.
What about hemolysis?
Bone marrow, blood, bone marrow, blood, bone marrow, bone marrow, bone marrow. The Coombs test result is negative. It could also be a poison or a narcotic, but that's a rather minimal possibility, and it's not hemolysis either.
You think that it could be PNH? You mean paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria?
For the time being, vectors are my number one suspect. Regardless, it's liver, lungs, and kidneys.
Kidney failure is another common outcome of having PNH. Hey, wait, didn't Miss Fuki-Goda die from
It was
kidney?
a cardiac death, no question. Rigor mortis was already starting to set in. Tachycardia, tachypnea, meiosis. Well, maybe if she came back as some kind of zombie or liver, lungs, and kidney. Also, let's keep this quiet until we know what we're dealing with. We don't want people to panic.